I was diagnosed not quite 10 years ago. I had been having a lot of problems with fatigue, headaches, memory loss, and a very big heat intolerance. I couldn't take, even in a room that was a little too warm, I would get overheated. And I didn't know what it was. I went through a lot of testing. They even tested me for MS. And I finally had talked to my father about it, and he had some friends that saw a wellness doctor, and he had actually known that it had helped their daughter. And so he told me that I should go by and, get checked out. So I did, and the doctor that I saw was actually a doctor of osteopathy, and she prescribed Armour Thyroid for me. I was taking 2 grains a day, and then also some estrogen and progesterone. And it did help as far as giving me a little bit more energy. I was able to function better. I still had bouts of being tired though, and still had the headaches, but it was better than it was at the beginning, so I continued on with the treatment. So I saw her for quite a long time, but it got, this last spring, it got really bad. Things started changing as far as the fatigue being a lot more. I wasn't able to sleep. I noticed that my face was getting really puffy, and I just was concerned because I didn't think that what I was on was helping me anymore, and I was getting very concerned.
What made you decide to go see Dr. Arem?
I was actually talking to a friend of mine, and I was explaining to him how I was feeling. And he's actually a patient of Dr. Arem's, and he suggested that I come see him because he was a specialist in the thyroid, and he'd helped him quite a bit. So I was at a point where if I had to describe to you how I was feeling, it would be like I was a car and the accelerator was just pushed down as hard as you could push it, but the brake was on too. So I was exhausted, tired, but my heart was racing, my blood pressure was up, my hair was falling out, my skin was dry, and I couldn't sleep. I had really bad insomnia and just very anxious. Actually didn't really want to be around people, to be honest with you. And so I knew I needed to do something because I could tell, I almost felt like I was going to have a stroke. It was bad. So at his suggestion, I came to see Dr. Arem, and I'm so glad I did.
How did Dr. Arem change your treatment?
Well, when I came to see him, we did, of course, a consult in the office and talked about my symptoms, and he did lab work. And from that, he determined, looking at the medication that I was on, that it definitely was not what I needed to be on. The Armour thyroid is based on a pig thyroid, and so it has T3 and T4 in it, and what had happened to me was I had super high elevations of T3, almost twice the normal range, and I could feel it. I think that's what was causing all of those symptoms. And so Dr. Arem put me on a synthetic T4 and then a compounded T3. And after I started it, it's like, how I told you I felt like the accelerator was pressed down like that. I could just feel it coming up and things getting back to normal. And he also put me on estrogen and progesterone, and the delivery of the progesterone was different. It was sublingual under the tongue, and based on the new thyroid medication and the progesterone, I finally, after all these years, am able to sleep at night. It's the best feeling to be able to go to bed and know that I'm going to go to sleep. But all of the symptoms like the shaking and the hair loss and the puffiness and those have all gone away, and I definitely notice a difference. I'm wanting to be out with people, do things again, not as anxious anymore, and I find that my memory is, I still have some struggles with it. I have some other autoimmune issues going on, but my memory is definitely getting better. I'm able to work and, actually accomplish something instead of just sitting there trying to focus. So it's definitely been a great improvement, and I honestly think it saved my life. I really do.